All right. I'm going to start this time. Compared to the other presentation, I'll try to take. Is it on?
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear? Yeah. So I'll do the presentation in English. But if you have any questions, or you can go outside and you can just, so this time I'll try to speak slower for the presentation and take it step by step. But before I start, I'll just want to put that up, just so you have my contact details for those who weren't in the presentation before. So yeah, my name is, so this is the slide from the presentation before, but just so you have my contact details and my name. So my name is Leroy. I work for, during my free time I work for Cat, which is a collective of open source investigators. We're about between 15 and 25 people. Most of us are volunteer, and there's only about 5 people who are full-time staff with the Cat. Sorry. And then on the side I work for BBC, for a new investigative unit they set up, which is called BBC Africa Eye. And they do, the idea is to do investigations on Africa, and our audience will be African people, so it's a new one. But here I'm on behalf of Cat, and here you have my Twitter handle, where my direct message is open, so if you have any question you can shoot me anytime, and my email address with Cat. But I'm not here to talk about Cat, I'm here to, for this one, to talk about how you as journalists, it's essential. Just a second, I'll be back, because I'm not sure how to operate now. So I'm here to talk about, obviously as a journalist, more and more you risk physical threats as people obviously coming to target you, but more and more because of your social media activity and your footprint of social media, your digital activity, so whatever you do on Facebook, on Twitter, etc. Also because now our personal lives, we tend to, I know I have a Facebook account, I have a Twitter account, I publish information, I'm sure it's the same for all of you. We publish a lot of information all the time, we're in contact with friends. If we don't have it, we're sort of out of the society nowadays. It's harder to not be present. But that presence online can be a threat not only digitally, so we can only get targeted digitally, but people can use, so before the presentation, before I was talking about open source like geolocation, etc. So I use that to hunt down people for my investigation, but that means someone else, let's say like a NACO, can hire someone who will do the same, use geolocation to find your pictures, where you are, where you spend your time, etc. and then analyze your profile and be able to target you at some point. So very much nowadays, more than so, digital and physical threats are all combined together, and that's why it's important to be aware of. I'm sure you are already, and I'm sure there are a lot of tools in place, and this very much this presentation needs to be an interaction, because I don't know how much you know and how much you're aware of digital security, how much you use it. So if you know the tools, just nod and tell me move on next, because we already know them. And also I'm interested to know which tools you use. So I think for me this one will be more, like the one before was just me talking, but this one is more like an interaction between all of us, and I want you, obviously, if you have questions, to ask them about which tools for which case, and we can talk about scenarios and so on. But nowadays it's very important you're conscious of risk. You can be targeted, you can be hacked, your accounts can be hacked, but also as I said before, people can use it to track you down, so it's your online exposure. And for example, for the BBC, sometimes my job is to hunt down information, but what I do is also when we publish a story, I do an assessment of the online exposure. So I use the same tools I use to hunt down corrupt officials, or etc. I use them on my colleagues to see what are the risks to them, how can maybe someone get to their family, etc. Because obviously, I guess the family and friends are also present, so it's not just you. The danger is not just to you, but to all the family that are involved. And this is just a simple guide. That's very efficient, because digital security, it's all about simple tricks and tips. You know, it's nothing you can have crazy software, etc. But it's not about often. It's just a simple behavior. Not posting that picture at that time about being somewhere and giving the location, etc. It's often simple things you need to be conscious of and need to act on it. And this one, for example, if I can zoom in, is better. Can you see, or is that okay? Can you read? Well, I'll just go through step by step. One thing we need to be conscious of, and I'm going to insist that, is actually it's very bad. We use email all the time to communicate every day for work, but email is the worst actually. It's the most dangerous way because it gives a trace. It's very easy to, well, it's getting better now. We have ways, and I'll talk about it, to protect your email account, etc. But emails are often easy to hack, and once you send, so when you send an email, often we think, the email goes to the person, and we can ask maybe that person to delete it, and if we delete the email, it's removed, but that's not the case. Emails, they leave a footprint on the internet, on servers, and therefore even if you deleted it from your account or someone has deleted it, there is a trace somewhere, and someone can get access to that. And so emails are actually very bad. If for any dangerous investigation, I'm sure you all use those already, but for any, and actually as a behavior, you need to start thinking about it, stop using email and moving towards WhatsApp, which I'm sure you already use for your family. WhatsApp is not, this is quite good. So recently, since 2016, it uses, how many of you know and use Signal? No? So Signal is the best, I'll just, so you see it. How many of you use this one? Yeah, so this is your best protection. Signal is out there in terms of messaging and encryption. So nowadays there's a lot about encryption. It's all about encryption, all about having encrypted communications. Encryption is the go-to. And so Signal is the best when you message it. The functionalities are not so good. Obviously, you have to understand with digital security there is a trade-off between ease of access and ease of use and protection. So the more protection, the more encryption they are, the less the tools are functional and easy to use. So Signal, they might have sometimes calls don't work, etc. But with Signal, your text message or your messages are encrypted, your call are encrypted as well, and it's the best encryption because the Open Whisper, the company behind Signal, was the first one to build this encryption that is used to use. So WhatsApp, for example, also uses Signal, what's called the Signal protocol. And what they've done, Signal, is apply what they did using Signal to WhatsApp. But you always have to think digital security, know about who owns the company. WhatsApp, it's Facebook now that owns the company. What has Facebook done with Cambridge Analytica, how much data they own, what they do with your data, you always have to be conscious about that. Signal is a small company, actually. They've been really good, so they're based in the US, so you'd expect if the US government asks them to provide information, they will. But as a matter of fact, because their encryption is so strong, there was a cool case, I think, a few months or years ago, it was 3 months ago, where the US government asked Signal to provide information. Signal said, we can't because we just don't have access to the information. And the government said, okay, we understand, that's the way the tool functions. So they didn't push, they didn't try to get the information. So that gives you a glimpse as to the fact that Signal is very strong. Facebook, owning WhatsApp, we don't know how they behave with the Cambridge Analytica is one tip of the iceberg and gives you an idea about how Facebook functions, but it's much harder, bigger corporation. Signal team is small, so it's easier to trust small team than big corporation where you don't know what they do with the data. And also on top of this, Signal is, it looks like I'm they don't pay me to talk about that. I promise. Because it looks, I'm just saying, because it's free, so they don't get any money from it. It's free, anyone can use it. And the final thing I wanted to do is it's open source, so it's very good. It's the code, anyone can access to it, anyone can verify it, anyone can check it at any time. So obviously we don't do it, but I don't do it because I'm not good at coding, but there are developers who have knowledge of this and are able to check the platform every time. So Signal, I strongly advise it. What's bad with Signal is it's no good to interact with Team, but there is a tool that's called Wire. This one. And it's like Signal, but it has a better functionality for teamwork. So it's loading the page. But Wire is good. The downside of it is you have to pay. I think it's about €4 per month or something like that for the team. So it has some cost. But the functionalities are, as far as I know, better for teamwork than Signal. So it's important. Telegram, I don't know, do you use Telegram here a lot or not? Telegram, I'm not feel so comfortable with it because it's a Russian company, but they do have a good infrastructure, and the owner, as I've been told many times, the owner of Telegram is not good relation with the Russian government, so it's you never know. It's a bit some Russian companies, it'll be hard. You don't know the marketing they might have. It's very hard. So I don't trust Telegram as much as I trust Signal for the code analysis. But as you will probably see, with digital security, that's one thing I need to say. You got to be careful because the field. Digital security experts are the people that disagree the most between each other. If you look at Twitter when they talk, they advise different tools, etc. But there's one thing they agree on is Signal, so that's a good one. If all digital experts say use Signal, it means that's definitely, because they never agree on anything otherwise. If you can, use emails only for administrative things or things that aren't. For investigation, definitely don't use email. Just use Signal or WhatsApp, maybe. But the one thing you have to be conscious, coming back to WhatsApp, is it depends where. So in some places, for example, Signal, for example, in some places where I work in Africa, Signal is not used at all. So having Signal on my phone looks very dodgy. But having WhatsApp on my phone is fine because everyone uses WhatsApp for the phone. So you also have to be conscious of this, not only the protection that the tools offer, but whether you can sort of hide yourself in the masses. Because the more people use a tool, the harder it is for government to track down every information that's coming from this tool. So you have to be conscious about this. Obviously, I don't know how many of you use Evernote or Dropbox? Dropbox or Google Drive. I think Google Drive, we all use it. Even needs bad, but we use it. So again, digital security, no one agrees on anything. What's good thing about Google Drive, and I found better than Dropbox and Evernote, I would advise more, is Google Drive at least lets you, you don't have to download, you can collaborate, so you don't have to have the file actually on your computer. Which is very good, because often what happens, I work with freelance journalists in Africa, and often what can happen is, if they download the document, they forget to delete it, and then they cross the border, and the document gets found. But if they don't have to download it, then they don't risk that.
Microphone. Here's a microphone. Yes.
Dicen que el correo electrónico no es seguro, pero con Google Drive dice que sí, pero esto se manda por correo. ¿Cómo lo usaría sin usar el correo? Por Gmail, mayormente.
No, that's a good point. But you don't necessarily have to use email to send what you can do. What's not best, so that's why I don't like Google Drive, is you can share a link, and you can share the link by Signal, which is good, for example. That way you don't send an email. You create the link, you share it by an encrypted means. What I don't like about Google Drive is they don't have the password ability. There are other platforms out there, which I don't trust as much because it's hard. It's easy. A lot of companies now, as soon as they drop the word encryption, people are like, oh, okay, I want to invest. But you have to be careful because what's good, okay, Google, the encryption is not so strong, but they've got a huge infrastructure to protect you. Actually, talking about Google Drive, I'll just jump on this now, but how many of you knows the Advanced Protection Program they just created about a few months ago? So you have to really, if you use Google Drive, I would advise you set that up because this is out there. The best protection, at least to prevent people from hacking yourself. Then what it is simply it's called a two-factor. So how much, coming back, sorry, I'm jumping over the place, but how much of you use two-step verification? Okay, this is good. Every account set up two-step verification because that is, although it's very simple, in digital security it's been the best advance to protect you from someone hacking your account. Now we're talking about the realm not of someone getting access to information by looking at pictures, but someone hacking your accounts, and two-step verification is the best. If you use two-step verification, don't use phone, or don't use phone number or text, because people have been able to hack. So people are very sneaky and they're very clever, and hackers are very good at that. And by the time, so some have managed to get the way to divert the message or the text message or the phone call to their phone before you get it, so they can potentially get access to it. So what you do, the better option is always, if it's available, it's the Google Authenticator or whatever authenticator that you have, that application. And what it does, that's always the best when you set up two-step verification, because what it does is they keep throwing codes every 60 seconds. The codes change, they change, and so no one can. It's much harder to hack and get access because the time is more reduced. So if you do have two-step verification on all accounts where you can. So you can on Facebook. It's very easy. You go to your privacy security settings, you set it up. You can do it on LinkedIn. You can do it on Twitter, and all your social media do it, because it's. Now, as we see also, if you're on Twitter, do change your password, because they've had the problem recently. And actually, I think if you open the application, you've seen they might have advice when they do advice. So that's something also. It's human. The most danger for breaches or being hacked is not computer. It's not a technical issue. It's human behaviors. It's, for example, Twitter saying you need to change your password, and you're like, I'm having a drink right now, I just can't be bothered to do it now, I'm having fun, I'll do it tomorrow. Then you forget, and then next 2 months later, you haven't changed it, and it gets hacked, your account gets out, and that's it. So we the most dangerous things to yourselves when it comes to digital security. But use Google Authenticator, that's the best when you set two-step verification. But even better when available, and they have that for Facebook, and they also have that now for the Google. It's called the Google Advanced Protection Program. And what it does is you have those keys. So you buy those keys, they're not too expensive. And once you log in, it's going to ask you to plug the key in your computer. And no one can access or can sort of hack this. There's no way it can be hacked. So that's the best protection. So that's why also I like the Google Drive. Since they rolled the Advanced Protection Program, it's one of the best. It's one of the best protection out there compared to other sort of drive system which don't have that tool. So I would, if you use Google Drive, I would strongly advise this. But coming back to the email issue, you can send the link. You can create a link and send it by Síguenos. That's the way around it. But as again, there's nothing perfect with digital security. There's always a threat somewhere going possible. Also, don't be too paranoid. So I talked about two-step verification. Authenticator. Also, although I don't believe, I'm still, there's a lot of debate about it, but if you can have a Mac or iOS systems or software is always better than Windows or any Windows or Android, etc. It's better if you can invest in a Mac. I know they're very expensive, and I know it's like there's one of the most capitalist companies out there. It's like paying their games, but if you can, the iOS is better. If not, for laptops, get Chromebooks. They're very good Chromebooks. If you travel, for example, if you need to cross the border, what I'll do is buy a Chromebook that is clean, travel, get my information, send it maybe on the Google Doc, or share it on the Google Doc, close everything, come back with my Chromebook, and there is never anything on the Chromebook. And Chromebook is not quite strong with that protection. They're very cheap as well. Chromebooks, you can buy one. The Samsung Chromebooks are good, and you can buy one for that's in euros, 150 euros. So I don't know how much it will be sold in dollars here. But it will be quite cheap. They're very cheap, and they're very good. What I was going to cover now is use iPhone or better. They talk about when you travel, just use your a laptop that's clean. If you get what we call burner laptops or burner phones, if you can buy them like cheap phones, you can use just for one trip in and out, and that's easier to cross the border, so no one can check that. A big one now I need to talk about is how many of you use a password manager? Okay, you all need one. You all need one because the biggest, again, humans were the biggest danger to yourself when it comes to digital security. And you know, we have those, no one can remember a crazy password now. So now, they have like machines that can compute password really easily. Like if I don't know if it's the name of your cat or the name, I don't know, of whoever, I don't know why I use the name of the cat. If it's the name of the cat with something else, the machine can easily think that. But password manager, what they can do is create passwords that have a length of 100 words, and you can change it automatically. They can change rapidly. So I do advise you have the one they mentioned here, which is good. Is I think they mentioned it after. Is 1Password.
1Password.
So this one is a good one to use. I use LastPass, which is not the best. They've been breached, but they just I've been with them for a long time, and a lot of companies use them. So password manager, they can be risky, obviously, because you provide password to another entity, to a third party who will take care of it and control it. So that's a danger. But it's been said, and again, that's a good one where digital security experts agree. It's been said that it's the risk of that entity being hacked with all your password, and if they get hacked, they notify, so you can change your password quickly. That's one risk. But that is less than you having password all over the place that you've created yourself, very short, very small, and that maybe you've written on the paper, etc. And that's easier to get hacked from those than from a password manager. So I do advise, they're not so expensive as well, so I do really advise to use those. Password manager is good. Like LastPass, they've been breached, but never been any danger. A good website actually coming to know if your account, this presentation has no structure at all. So if you have questions, stop me and answer. But a good one to know if your accounts have been hacked is, I don't know if you knew this. It's the website Have I Been Pwned? And what you do is you enter an email address. Let's say, so I know my Hotmail, for example, is being pwned quite a lot of time. So I do change my password often. I do this, for example, with mine. And tell them Have I Been Pwned. They correct also. Oh no, I've been pwned. And it tells you that in which big breaches. So if I go down, it tells you. So you've got those big breaches. Those are like, this is not like just someone targeting you. It's a massive hacking operation. They do big attacks, and they still password everything in one go, and then they can sell it and make money out of it. But that's often quite good to know where you've been. If one of your accounts, it's a good tool, easy way to know if your account has been pwned, as it is said. And if it is the case, do change your password immediately. That's very good. So it's called Have I Been Pwned, and it's really easy to use. And what else do I need to cover? Email. That's good. That we did that. Yes, well, the one, okay, that reminds me. How many of you use a virtual private network? Known as VPN. Okay, this is, so, I'm sure you're aware, you should be aware of this. When you connect to when any device connects to the internet, it gets an IP address, which is obviously that you're aware of this, and it gives you the location of the not your computer itself, but the Wi-Fi system to which you connect, which is often, let's say you connect to the hotel, is going to be the location here. What the VPN does is it enables you to hide your IP address, and it also encrypts your connection to the internet. So it creates a tunnel between your machine and the internet, so no one can encrypt the tunnel directly to the VPN server and then out somewhere else that is open. But that also, it's two-step. You have the tunnel from your machine to the server of the company that provides the VPN, and then that is encrypted, no one can see it, and then open connections that are visible, but that is from the servers of the company, so it doesn't matter, no one can track you down. And a good tool, for example, you have VPN, there are tons of it. I use ExpressVPN myself, and again, they don't pay me to talk about them, but there are tons of them. I don't advocate specifically this one. I like this one because it's got a lot of different servers, location, it's quite cheap, and it goes really fast, it keeps your internet. One thing you need to bear in mind is VPN, because you encrypt through, you connect through an encrypted tunnel, it slows down a bit your connection. So ExpressVPN or NordVPN is another good one. NordVPN is, they don't reduce your internet connection by so much. It depends where, but nowadays, no, it's pretty fine. And what is good is then you can connect, for example, let's say, you can be here, so often I'll be here, and I'll connect to, let's say, a server in the US. And it looks, this one, NordVPN, yeah. So that's the one, not strong VPN, so. That's not the good one. It's NordVPN. Yeah, that's the one. This one is really good as well. Not too expensive, but you can do a search for others. Some are free as well, but they don't offer as much protection as the paid ones. From what I've seen and what I know about. And yeah, so you can, for example, be here in the hotel and connect to a server in the US, and that way it looks like you're connecting from the US, and then one can track you down to where you are. So this is very important. Do you use a VPN all the time? I have my VPN on all the time. And what's good with VPN, they got a lock system. So because the risk often is people connect. That's actually interesting. I don't know if you follow the stories about, obviously, you've heard about Russian disinformation and how some of it, and Russian hacking of the US election, and how some of it is linked to, obviously, Russian intelligence services. And there have been journalists following a guy named Lucifer 2.0, and actually they were able to track it down to a sort of intelligence officer of the GRU, which is one of the branch of the Russian intelligence service. And how they were able to track it down is one day he didn't turn on his VPN. Just the only day out of the, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years he was using a VPN. He didn't do it once, and they were able to track it down, journalists. So that's why, coming back to VPN, they have what I was going to talk about is lock, auto lock. It is as soon as you hit the connection, it blocks the connection. You need to manually, so VPN blocks the connection until you've connected your VPN, and then it opens the connection. So that protects you from that moment where you connect to the internet and there is that space where someone can get access to your IP address. That's also one reason why I like ExpressVPN. What else can I cover? I love coming back to this one. So we talk about Android, that's fine. Yes. Also, one thing is, I've done that here, but if someone hands you a USB key and say, plug it in your computer, you don't do it. Never do it. You say, never, never, someone. I've done that actually here, which I regret, because I trust people here, but never do it. If someone gives you, even if it's someone you really trust, okay, maybe, but never, that's often the easiest way to hack. Actually, there's actually a very funny story about this. The Russian, again, they're very good. Russians are very good when it comes to hacking and getting access. Very clever. What they did in Afghanistan is, out of the military base, they wanted to get access to some get inside the American system, military system of the internet, and to be able to, spy on them. What they did is they got some guys to sold cheap USBs out of a military base, and obviously one American soldier went to buy one, put one in their computer, then that was it. They were in the system, and then it's always because now systems are so connected. As soon as you put, for example, let's say my organization, the BBC, if I walked in and someone gives me a key and I plug it to my BBC computer, then everyone in the network is affected. That's it, because it travels. All the computers, all the devices are connected, and it travels really fast. So if someone gives you a USB key, unless you 100% trust him, just don't do it. Ask him to send it. So coming back to, I'm jumping, your thoughts are coming to my head, different one. But coming back to Google Drive, what's good is if you get sent a document, for example, if you get sent a Microsoft Word, don't open it in your computer, because there might be malware linked to it, or there might be some viruses. Open it in Google Drive, because Google Drive offers you that online cloud protection. It doesn't connect, it doesn't touch to your physical hardware. It doesn't connect to your physical hardware. It stays within the cloud system, and that protects you. So if you get sent a document, that's why Google Drive is good in some way. If you get sent a document, open it in Google Drive, and you protect it from whatever malware might be on that document.